Did you know that over 300,000 seniors in California could soon be at risk of losing their homes, not because of missed payments, but because of a new property rule coming in 2026? It sounds unbelievable, but this quiet policy change could become one of the most devastating shifts in California housing law, especially for the people who've spent decades building their lives in these homes. This isn't just about rising property taxes or red tape. This is about seniors, many on fixed incomes, being cornered by a rule that could suddenly make their longtime homes unaffordable, even if they fully own them. And the most shocking part? Most families still have no idea it's coming. In this video, we're uncovering the 10 hidden reasons why this 2026 rule may push thousands of seniors to sell, some unwillingly. And trust me, what you're about to learn may just change the way you think about property, inheritance, and your family's future. Number 1. Drastic property tax reassessment. Imagine living in the same cozy California home for 30 or even 40 years. You've raised a family there, paid off the mortgage, you've finally retired thinking your financial stress is behind you. But then, boom, 2026 hits, and suddenly your annual property taxes triple overnight. That's exactly what could happen under the new California property rule, which includes changes to how and when homes are reassessed for tax purposes. Right now, many seniors benefit from Prop 13 protections, keeping their property taxes low based on the value of their home decades ago. But this new rule changes the game entirely. Once a triggering event occurs, like inheritance, minor remodeling, or even a simple ownership adjustment, the county can reassess the home to full market value. Think of a home purchased in 1985 for $150,000 that's now worth $1.2 million. The property tax could jump from around $2,000 a year to over $14,000. And for someone living on Social Security or a small pension, that kind of spike is not just shocking, it's unsurvivable. What's worse is that many seniors don't even see it coming. A simple clerical change, a document filed wrong, or a misunderstanding could trigger a reassessment, and once it happens, there's often no going back. Some families only realize it when the bill arrives, and by then, it's too late. This hidden financial trap is one of the biggest reasons thousands of seniors may be forced to sell homes they intended to live in for life, and unless families are prepared, it can hit like a financial lightning strike. We put a lot of research and heart into making these videos for you, so if you found this helpful, drop a comment and let us know how this law might impact your family. And hey, it's just one click to subscribe, but it means the world to us. Number 2. Prop 13 protections may be weakened. For decades, Proposition 13 has been the lifeline for California homeowners, especially seniors. It locked in property tax rates based on the original purchase price, not the soaring market value. But now, in 2026, this once reliable protection may be quietly dismantled, leaving thousands of elderly homeowners dangerously exposed. Under the new property rule, subtle changes to Prop 13's transfer protections are creating legal landmines. Previously, seniors could pass their property to their children without triggering a tax reassessment. But with these new restrictions, even a simple family trust update or name change on the deed could cause the home to be reassessed at full market value. And the worst part? Most families have no idea. They're filing documents thinking they're doing estate planning the right way, only to be hit with a massive tax bill a year later. Seniors who intended to pass their homes down to the next generation could now be forced to sell them instead, just to avoid financial disaster. This isn't some rare scenario, it's happening all over California. A retired couple in Fresno recently tried to add their son to their home title for safety. The county reassessed the property and their taxes spiked by over $8,000 per year. That couple? They're now preparing to sell the home they've lived in since 1979. These once ironclad protections are slowly cracking, and many seniors are standing on shaky legal ground without even knowing it. If families don't act quickly, they could lose more than just a property. They could lose a legacy. Number 3. Inherited property loopholes closed.
For many families, passing down a home isn't just a gift, it's a symbol of security, a way to ensure that future generations have a head start in life. But with the 2026 property rule, California is closing one of the most powerful tools for building generational wealth, the inheritance loophole. Before, if you inherited a home from your parents, you could keep their low property tax rate, thanks to exclusions under Prop 58 and 193. This meant you could live in or rent out the family home without being crushed by new tax bills. But under the upcoming law, that protection is being severely limited. Now, unless you plan to live in the inherited home as your primary residence, the property gets reassessed at full market value immediately. That means if your parents' house was purchased in 1980 for $120,000 and it's now worth $1.5 million, your property tax could shoot from $1,500 to over $15,000 a year, instantly. For most heirs, especially working-class families, that's just not affordable. The painful result? They're forced to sell off the family home, even if it was meant to stay in the family for generations. And don't think this is a rare issue. Real estate lawyers across the state are already seeing a surge in forced sales due to this exact change. Families who planned carefully, saved, and followed the rules are now watching their inheritance slip away. It's not just a loophole that's closing, it's the door to financial stability for the next generation. We want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know been impacted by these changes? Your comment could help someone else. And if you found this video eye-opening, do us a favor, hit subscribe. Just one click keeps this kind of deep dive content coming your way.
Number 4. Rising maintenance and retrofit costs. It's no secret that many California homes, especially those owned by seniors, are older, charming, and full of history. But under the 2026 property rule, these very homes could become financial liabilities overnight. Why? Because the new law introduces mandatory maintenance and safety retrofits that many seniors simply can't afford. Think energy efficiency upgrades, earthquake retrofitting, updated plumbing, and accessibility improvements. On paper, these sound like smart ideas, and they are. But when the cost of compliance ranges from $15,000 to $50,000, as reported by the California Building Standards Commission, it becomes a heavy weight on the shoulders of retirees living on Social Security checks. Even worse, non-compliance could come with penalties, delays in property transactions, or even restrictions on renting or selling the home. That means many seniors are stuck, either spend tens of thousands on repairs or sell their homes under pressure. It's a heartbreaking choice that no one should have to make, especially those who have lived in and maintained these homes for decades. One real case involved an 81-year-old widow in Oakland who was told she needed to retrofit her home for seismic safety before transferring the title to her daughter. The estimated cost? $36,000. With no savings and no family support, her only real option was to put the home on the market. The intention behind these regulations may be good, but the execution is brutal for seniors who are already vulnerable. What's being labeled as safety reform is, for many, a financial eviction notice in disguise. Your voice helps others feel seen. If your family has faced tough home repair choices like this, share your experience in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear it. And don't forget, just one click to subscribe fuels more videos like this, crafted with care and packed with real solutions. Number 5. Reduction in senior exemptions. For decades, many California seniors have relied on local property tax exemptions to make ends meet. Small but powerful benefits like reduced rates on parcel taxes, school bonds, or special district fees. These exemptions acted as a quiet cushion, offering just enough relief to stay afloat. But in 2026, that cushion starts to vanish. The new property rule includes a rollback of certain local exemptions, particularly those not standardized across counties. This means seniors in one city might lose energy credits, while others could see the end of disability or age-based deductions they've counted on for years. And the worst part? Most of these changes are buried in fine print, tucked inside county-level adjustments tied to the larger state mandate. To someone with a fixed income, losing a $500 or $1,000 annual exemption might not sound huge to outsiders, but for seniors budgeting every penny for medication, groceries, and utilities, it can tip the balance. Suddenly, what was affordable last year becomes a financial stressor this year. One retired teacher in Ventura County told a local reporter that the cancellation of her senior utility exemption added $900 a year to her total expenses. "That's my heating bill in winter," she said. "Now I have to choose." These exemptions were never handouts. They were lifelines, and removing them without warning or clear communication isn't just unfair, it's destabilizing the lives of those who can least afford it. Have you or a loved one seen these quiet exemptions disappear? Leave a comment below. Your story could be the wake-up call someone else needs. And remember, it's just one click to subscribe, but it means hours of research and effort don't go to waste. Support the channel and stay informed. Number 6. Reverse mortgage risks. For many seniors, a reverse mortgage feels like a blessing, a way to access home equity without monthly payments. But under the 2026 property rule, what once seemed like a financial lifeline could quickly turn into a costly trap, forcing homeowners to sell just to survive. Here's the problem. The new rule doesn't just impact property taxes, it also affects how reverse mortgages are valued, monitored, and paid off. With property values reassessed more aggressively and tax bills skyrocketing, lenders are tightening their terms. That means seniors may find their reverse mortgage agreements reevaluated or even called due earlier than expected. Some lenders are now requiring additional escrow reserves to cover rising property taxes and insurance. Others are warning borrowers that if taxes can't be paid, they'll face foreclosure, even if no payments were previously required. Imagine thinking you've secured your home for life, only to find a notice on your door demanding action you're no longer able to take. Worse, some reverse mortgages are structured in a way that passes on massive debt to heirs, especially when the home is reassessed at higher market rates after death. Families expecting to inherit a fully owned home may instead inherit a stack of bills. A couple in Riverside County recently discovered that their lender had recalculated their reverse mortgage after a reassessment notice. The new tax estimates slashed their remaining equity, putting their financial future and the house at serious risk. What was meant to bring peace of mind has now become a looming source of anxiety, driving more seniors to sell before the rules change even further. If you've ever considered a reverse mortgage or already have one, tell us your experience in the comments. It could help another family make a smarter choice. And don't forget, subscribing takes 1 second, but it fuels weeks of behind-the-scenes work. Help us keep going strong. Number 7. Insurance premium surges. You've probably heard that home insurance rates are rising, but for California seniors, the story goes far deeper. Under the 2026 property rule, many homes will be reassessed not just based on market value, but also on climate and risk classifications. That means higher property taxes and, at the same time, skyrocketing insurance premiums. Here's how it works. Many parts of California are being rezoned as high-risk areas for wildfires, floods, or earthquakes. Under the new rule, these risk assessments can directly impact your property tax rate. But there's a double hit. Insurance companies use the same data to boost premiums or deny coverage altogether. This puts seniors in a lose-lose situation. Your taxes go up because your home is considered riskier, then your insurance provider either raises your premium by thousands or drops your policy entirely. And without valid insurance, many homeowners, especially those with reverse mortgages or equity lines, could be forced to sell just to stay compliant. One 74-year-old homeowner in Sonoma County saw her insurance triple in just 2 years, and after her home was flagged for fire zone reassessment, she was quoted over $6,800 annually for a modest 2-bedroom house. Now imagine pairing that with a property tax increase of $8,000 or more. For most retirees, that's simply not sustainable. This combination of risk-based taxation and exploding premiums is quietly pushing many seniors toward a decision they never wanted to make: sell the home or risk losing it. Has your insurance gone up lately, or have you struggled to even get coverage? Drop your experience in the comments. You might help others prepare. And if this video helped you see the bigger picture, please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us continue sharing the stories no one else is telling. Number 8. Forced compliance with new zoning laws. For many seniors, the ability to adapt their homes, whether by renting out a room, adding a small unit for family, or downsizing within their own property, has been a key to staying independent. But under the 2026 property rule, California is rolling out new zoning regulations that strip away much of that flexibility. These rules are tied into a statewide effort to modernize housing, but the impact on older homeowners is anything but modern. Seniors who once relied on supplemental rental income or had plans to build a granny flat, ADU, to live in while renting the main house are now facing permit denials, usage restrictions, and new compliance costs they didn't expect. One of the most painful parts, these zoning changes can retroactively make certain features or uses of the property non-compliant, meaning seniors must either pay to fix them or stop using them entirely. Imagine being told you can no longer legally rent out the unit your adult child lives in because it's now out of zoning scope. A couple in San Diego recently had their in-law suite flagged as non-permitted under the new zoning update. Not only did they lose a key source of income, but they were also fined and forced to decommission the space, leaving them thousands of dollars in the hole. What was once a creative solution to aging in place is now a bureaucratic nightmare. These new zoning laws are closing doors that seniors relied on and pushing many to sell rather than navigate the red tape. Know someone who's been caught off guard by zoning laws or ADU restrictions? Tell us in the comments. Your story could be the one that sparks awareness. And if you believe this kind of info needs more attention, subscribe with one click. It's small for you, but huge for this community. Number 9. Capital gains tax trap. Many seniors have spent decades watching the value of their homes rise, believing that when the time came to sell, they'd be able to cash out comfortably and use that money to retire, relocate, or support their families. But the 2026 rule could dramatically change the math, especially when it comes to capital gains taxes. Under current law, homeowners benefit from a capital gains exclusion, up to $250,000 for individuals and $500,000 for couples when they sell their primary residence. But new proposals connected to the 2026 rule may narrow these exclusions, tighten eligibility, or link them to stricter timeframes and documentation. What does that mean in plain English? If a senior waits too long to sell, or if the reassessment changes their home status, they could miss out on the tax break entirely and owe tens of thousands in federal and state capital gains taxes. Take this example. A couple who bought their home in 1982 for $150,000 and sell it in 2026 for $1.5 million. Without the exclusion, they could be taxed on over $1 million in gains. That's not just a higher tax bill, it's a life-changing loss of wealth. Some seniors are even being advised by estate planners to sell now rather than risk losing the exclusion later. And that means more elderly homeowners are rushing to market, not because they want to, but because they're afraid of being penalized for waiting. What was meant to be a reward for a lifetime of ownership has quietly become a ticking financial time bomb. Ever sold a home and been surprised by the taxes? Or are you facing this now? Share your insight in the comments. Your story might save someone else a fortune. And if this video helped you connect the dots, subscribe with just one click. That small gesture helps us keep making content that truly matters. Number 10. Emotional and psychological stress. Not every impact of the 2026 property rule shows up on paper. Beyond the tax hikes, zoning changes, and legal traps lies something harder to quantify, but just as real: the emotional toll on California's senior homeowners. Imagine living in the same house for 40 years. Every hallway holds memories. Every corner echoes with laughter from birthdays, holidays, and quiet Sunday mornings. Now imagine being told you can't afford to keep it anymore, not because of debt or poor planning, but because the system changed around you. For many seniors, this is more than a financial issue, it's a psychological crisis. The uncertainty, the paperwork, the looming threat of losing their homes, it creates chronic stress, anxiety, and even depression. According to a recent study by the California Elder Justice Coalition, housing-related stress has become one of the leading causes of mental health decline in seniors over 70. One widow in Los Angeles broke down in a community hearing, saying, "I don't understand the rules anymore. I just want to stay where I've always been." Her voice cracked not from confusion, but from the weight of helplessness. Families may see selling as just a move, but for many elders, it feels like losing their identity, their safety, their control, their roots. This emotional exhaustion is pushing more seniors to sell early just to escape the stress and uncertainty. So while the headlines focus on taxes and laws, the real cost may be something far deeper: the mental and emotional well-being of an entire generation. Have you seen the emotional side of housing stress in your own family? Open up in the comments. You never know who your words might comfort. And if this video made you pause and think, just one click to subscribe fuels the work we put into every script, story, and solution we bring you. The 2026 California Property Rule isn't just another policy update. It's a seismic shift that could uproot the lives of thousands of seniors across the state. What's most alarming is how quietly it's approaching, tucked behind legal language and bureaucratic changes that most people won't notice until it's too late. We've explored 10 powerful reasons why this law may force seniors to sell their homes, from skyrocketing taxes and retroactive reassessments to shrinking exemptions, rising insurance premiums, and emotional burnout. Each reason on its own is concerning, but together they paint a picture of a system that's increasingly unforgiving to the people who built their lives in this state decades ago. This is more than a housing issue. It's about honoring the dignity and stability of our elders and ensuring they're not left behind by policies that move too fast for them to keep up. Whether you're a senior homeowner, a concerned family member, or someone just starting to think about long-term planning, this affects all of us. So don't let this information stop at you. Have conversations with your family, reach out to local officials, get informed, and most importantly, prepare. Because the more people know, the better chance we have of protecting our homes and our loved ones from being swept away by changes they never saw coming.